On today's show, we're talking factions, why being in a group gives you strength in numbers, and doing it lone wolf isn't always the greatest idea. Let's get into it. Welcome to WWA Wrestling with Adversity. This is the Kickout Show, and today we're talking factions, how strength in numbers is what gets people through. Isolation, being alone, having to face things alone, it can be really tough, really difficult, and the point is reach out and get strength in numbers. Get help from those around you. Get help from those that know what they're doing, who have been there before, and being able to talk and open up about those things is huge. So wrestling, the passion that we love, the greatest factions of all time, let's name them. I wrote down a list. As I was writing it, I thought to myself, wow, I could just do this list 3 times as long. It's incredible, some of the factions we've had over the years. Let me start with my favourite. You can see them up here, DX. Originally Shawn and Trips, just absolutely tearing up the playbook. What can we do? Where can we go? What's the boundaries we can push? Very naughty at times. I seen a clip of Shawn Michaels yesterday versus Goldust. Wow, you don't see that shit anymore. But what a faction. Just the muscle, the cleverness, the sex appeal from Shawn. Wow, what a faction. And then Shawn having to leave with his injury. And then Triple H just taking it to a whole nother level. Bringing in Road Dogg, bringing in China, bringing in Billy Gunn, bringing in X-Pac, absolutely dominating. What a fantastic time to be alive. The wrestling back then was so immense. Going invading WCW, Monday Night Nitro and stuff like that. Some of the storylines, so irreverent, kicking off with people like Stone Cold Steve Austin, running him over, all that kind of stuff. Was it Rikishi did it? Was he paid by Triple H and all that stuff? That was such a great time. Other great factions, who are we looking at here? The Shield, NWO, wow, that blew everyone's mind. Hulk Hogan turning Hollywood Hogan, incredible. Evolution, I remember Randy Orton and Batista both being revealed in the ring that they were part of Evolution. This was my reaction. And I didn't have a clue who they were. I thought there was going to be some big reveal, and I thought it was going to be someone I knew, and when it wasn't, I was disappointed. But the truth is, look who they became to be. Look what Evolution became. What a fantastic ride they took us on with their tag team in, and Randy Orton finally rising up through the ranks and kind of superseding the boss, and then thumbs down, and then they did Randy Orton, and then such great rivalries then between Randy Orton and Triple H. Loved all of that stuff. The Bloodline, still going now. The Don Callis family in more recent times in AEW, I think they've been hit and miss up until now, but I do think they're going somewhere now. The family's really starting to get headway. They've got Okada in there now, Kazuchika Okada. They've got such great wrestlers, brilliant wrestlers now, and the family's getting larger and it's getting more dangerous. Inner Circle, Chris Jericho. I just think anything Chris Jericho does is just fantastic. He just gets wrestling. That's why I think every gimmick that he has, it just gets over because he just understands it. And I remember seeing him in an interview talking about how did he get the list over, and he said the fans were just lapping it up, and it was getting to the point where he didn't even have to say you just made the list. He'd just lift the pen and just hold it there, and like the anticipation and that just of this pen click because you've made the list, and it's like, it's so clever, it's so simple. Isn't it great when the simple stuff gets over, like the yes movement as well? You just made the list. Brilliant. So the Inner Circle, yeah, I thought that was great. I thought Chris Jericho, again, showing his versatility. There's no character you can't give him, and he'll get it over. Nexus, I didn't like them at the time, I'll be honest, but you know, they've gone down in history, and their rivalry with John Cena and eventually forcing him to join the Nexus was great. And look at some of the great wrestlers that came out of the Nexus. The Wyatt family, Dark Order, one of my all-time favourite storylines, Aces and Eights. Who remembers that from TNA? Wow. The reveal in the end after weeks and weeks and weeks of people taking their tops off or revealing that biker jacket that had Aces and Eights on, and it was like, oh my god, who's going to be next? And then it was like this guy behind the scenes who is leading it all with a distorted voice, like, who is that? And eventually it was Bully Ray. Honest to God, my mind was blown by that. I was like, I never would have expected Bully Ray, because he's just so synonymous with being a tag team wrestler. To see him go alone and be so dominant, and he got into such great shape. He just looked the part. It was fantastic. I loved Aces and Eights era in TNA. It was fantastic. And of course, the Four Horsemen. How can we... I can't say I've watched a lot of them, but I know how legendary they are. I've seen some of the matches, and I know how great those wrestlers were that were in it. Some of the female groups as well. One of my favourites, the Beautiful People in TNA, they were fantastic. How annoying they were. I always find that it's all about being annoying. MJF pulls it off brilliantly as well. It's not just about being bad. It's about really pissing people off. And it's quite easy to piss people off. So when you really find that niggle, like MJF does and the Beautiful People did, I just think it's great that you can really push those buttons and really get the fans booing you. You know, they talk about the old heat that they used to get in the old days, having to leave arenas with like stones raining down on the cars and stuff like that. Now, I'm not promoting that, don't get me wrong. But to really get the crowd involved in that to the point where they're just like, oh my God, he's getting on my tits. I love that. And I know a lot of what MJF does is tongue-in-cheek and the crowd knows it. But they love to hate him, and he's just one of the best heels of all time. Beautiful People were brilliant as well. We've got Damage Control, Absolution, the Riot Squad, Toxic Attraction were brilliant, I thought, as well. So what we get from all this is you can go for it alone. You can go for the titles. You can go for the prestige. But the lift up you get from a group, the lift up Randy Orton got from being in Evolution, the lift up that Batista got from two of the greats, Ric Flair and Triple H, that boost it's something, if you ask them, that they wouldn't be where they are now if they didn't have that. And that's why you see it a lot in wrestling, being put under somebody's wing to see where they can go with a bit of guidance and a bit of tutelage. It's incredibly important. And then that camaraderie, that brotherhood, that sisterhood that you get from that. And knowing that if all else goes to shit, these guys have got my back. Like, I'm not the only one that thinks this way. I'm not the only one who feels this way. That's so important. And in factions, what they do is, it's a shared goal and a shared dream. So sharing that with people, it's not pulling in all different directions. Sometimes with our friends, we can be pulling in different directions. In our relationships at home, we can be pulling in different directions. Same with our kids and with our parents. And a lot of times these people want the best for us, but it isn't what we want. So going out there and finding what you want to do, even if you don't know what that is fully, take a step, find a group, find a tribe, and you'll notice that it rubs off on you. You constantly might look around for motivation or inspiration, and when it's just you, that can get muddled in the mind. It can get washed out, and you'll start to give up, and your inner critic will kind of take over because it's trying to protect you. It will start pulling you back and saying maybe it's not this and maybe it's this. But when you're in a tribe, when you're in a shared group, when you've got a shared goal and a passion, they pick you up. They pull the socks up. They give you inspiration. They give you motivation. They remind you of what it is you're here to do and what you're trying to do. So if Randy Orton feels like he's missing a step, Triple H is there. If Triple H feels like he's missing a step, Ric Flair's there. Ric Flair's been there before and done it and shown Triple H. Triple H is showing Randy and Batista. That leadership that you only get in a group. When we try to do everything on our own, it's too much. And then you see yourself start flagging. And then once you start flagging, the inner critic pops up and it tells you, see, I knew you couldn't do it. I knew you couldn't do it on your own. But the thing is, there is people out there that want to help. There is people with shared goals and shared dreams. And it's about joining that group and asking for help and copying. It's okay to copy, to see who did it before you. What's the point in books if we don't copy? Copying is learning, isn't it? There's not a doctor on earth that didn't copy what he knows from somebody else. YouTube, people watching YouTube, I'm copying people. They told me this camera, they told me this microphone. I can add my own twist to it and I can put my own flavour on it. And that's what makes it me. And that's what makes it unique. But without those things, I'd be floundering, searching in the dark. So it's so important to have group strength, support through whatever it is you're going through. And wrestling just shows that time and time again, what it's like to be part of a faction, what it's like to be part of a group. There's one particular group that I joined 2.5 years ago. So since the age of 16, I was drinking alcohol heavier and heavier and heavier until it just became part of my identity. It became what I do. I couldn't get away from it because as much as I kept stopping, it would only last a couple of days. Then the doubts would come in, the boredom, the resentment, the frustration, the bitterness, the loneliness, the isolation. And who was always there for me? Alcohol. It would always take all that away. But it would pay it back double the next day. You better believe that shit. Time and time again, I wake up. What did I do yesterday? The house is trashed. My body feels like shit. My head is all over the place. Year after year after year, constantly doing that to myself. And yeah, it might not be my fault why it started, but it's my responsibility to do something about it. So that's why 2.5 years ago, I got up and I made a phone call. That's all I did. I just hit the glass. I made a phone call and I went to see a woman, part of a group, who sat me down, and the first thing she said to me was, I've been in the seat you're sitting in right now. And I was like, oh wow, I'm thinking I'm there to be studied or, to be judged. I didn't really care, if I'm honest, because I just needed help. But she said to me, look, I'm going to take you down the road. It was just around the corner. I'm going to take you down the road and there's a group there called Chase Recovery. And I want you to have a word with them. So I went down there. First off, there's people everywhere. I'm like, bloody hell, what's going on? I'm already shy. I'm nervous. I don't really talk to people. I don't know many people. I have no friends. And I'm just getting my hand shook left, right and centre. Come in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Next minute, I've got a cup of tea in my hand and I'm talking to the boss man. His name was Paul. And he just started talking to me on such a level that I just knew that moment that I'd found my tribe. And he said, look, come along I think we were doing every Monday and Wednesday. I went 3 times a week. It was an hour drive and an hour drive home. And I didn't care. I had to be there. So what we did was we sat in a big classroom and we went through what's going on. What's happening to us? Why is addiction affecting us this way? What's going on inside? And slowly but surely, all those friends, all those people with a shared goal and a shared passion and a want to change, it transformed me. The second day that I went there, I quit alcohol and I haven't drank since. I've done other things. I've gone on to try and better myself. I've gone on to try and grow as a man, as a human being, as a father, as a partner, as a son. I've dealt with my mental health problems, anxiety, health anxiety, depression. But the alcohol was a symptom of those things. And when I was able to address that symptom, put it out of the way so I could deal with the real stuff going on inside, that's when my life transformed. And now I'm talking about one day being a doctor, a psychologist, I never would have imagined that 2.5 years ago. And that came through tribe, groups, a faction. So again, factions are so important, and that's why I run my school community. And it's literally called The Faction within the locker room. So check the link in my bio. Check the link, I'll put it in the description. Come and join the group. Come and join a faction of other people with shared dreams and shared goals. Showing up for each other, it gives you strength, it gives you motivation, it helps others and it helps you. Paul said to me one time when he thought I was withdrawing, he thought I was stepping back. He said, let other people help you. You don't understand how much that helps them. And that always stuck with me. So now that's what I'm doing. I'm passing it on. I want to help as many people as I can. Millions of people out there that need help. I want to help you. That helps me in turn. And then one day you'll be doing the same. So thanks for listening today about factions. I've absolutely enjoyed it. I might do another episode one day because there's so many factions to get through. How fantastic the dynamics work and inside factions in wrestling. It's just so fascinating. I love it. And anytime a new faction starts in wrestling, I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? What's the dynamics? Who's who? It's just great. So click like, subscribe, all that stuff. Join my school community. Get involved. See if we can help and feel the power of being in connection with other people. Okay? I've absolutely loved it today. And remember, it's not about hitting the mat. It's all about the kick out. Thanks, guys. If you're working on your mindset or dealing with anxiety or depression and really want to look after your mental health, come and join my free group. It's called The Locker Room on School. That's SKOOL. So get the app. Come and join me. I offer one-to-one coaching, great community, lots of games and lots of wrestling analysis. I'd love to see you in there. The link is in my bio.